Hi YouTube, how you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. In case this is your first time ever, hi, I'm a psychologist, a therapist that tends to go ahead and psychoanalyze culture, anime, media, everything in between. We do tend to stop a lot and talk about all the little intricacies and nuances that we do find in here. If you guys see me looking to my left, I'm actually looking because we're streaming right now live on Twitch. We will do this every Friday and Sunday. If you see me looking to the left, I have a little green thing and I live out in the middle of nowhere, so my internet can go down. My niece actually requested for me to go ahead and do this anime, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with watching this anime, guys. I'm giving you a forewarning in case you're not acquainted. I have a wide variety of anime. Nothing that I do is wizardry, I promise. It's all based on psychological principles, and honestly, I'm just excited to get into this. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen a lot of people cosplay off of this, you know. I've seen a lot of people do different cosplays of this. I'm not gonna go and say like I'm completely blind when I've seen people always wear these outfits and stuff. So this is one of those events, one of those things where it's like, okay, I know a little bit about this show. In terms of like the cosplays and like, you know, that people wear, but I don't know anything about the characters, anything about the environment, what the actual story is, other than the fact that I know a lot of people watch it. Some people may like it, some people may not like it, but with that being said, why don't we go and just jump into it? I don't know what else to say. What's up, FinFriend? Also, guys, in case you guys are wondering, right now, I tend to watch anime completely randomized. They tend to go ahead and vote for it. This is just a special one that I wanted to go ahead and dictate. If you guys like what you see, let me know, and we might be able to go ahead and do this a little bit more often here on Twitch. You know, so this might be like a little teaser episode that if you guys are interested, come join us. As I said, we do this every Friday and Sunday, and if you guys vote for it, we'll do it. All right, let's get started.
Nezuko, 死ぬなよ。死ぬな。絶対助けてやるからな。死なせない。兄ちゃんが絶対に助けてやるからな。
What a phenomenal way to fucking start this. What a beautiful way of actually getting this in through, man. Like, let me go ahead and start by opening up with this, right? Sorry. I got a important IRL stuff. Oh, wonderful. What a beautiful shot of being able to like come on in here with this. Look. The weight, there's different weights applied to our character here. Almost immediately, right? So, for example, his sister on his back, he's clearly in emotional turmoil. We don't know what that is just yet, right? But even look at the ground, guys. Look at the harsh environment, the weight of the environment around you, and the weight of your snow being planted in. If we're going to talk about a way to start off the show, a way to go ahead and start off the journey that this character is going to go through, is something that is completely, you know, it is going to be quite literally like taking step by step and like marching through. I think that this is one of those few shots, like for me, psychologically speaking, looking at something like this, and if this character is telling me this story, I was walking through the snow with my sister on my back, yelling out loud that I wasn't gonna let her die, and the wind was blowing and like telling me the story, I can tell how much weight and responsibility that it is placed on them. That's huge, dude. That's a way to fucking start off the story, and I'm like, whoa. Oh. Wow. And just look at this, the barrenness, the emptiness that is out there. It's a bunch of dead trees, the snow, blood probably trailing behind you. That is like a moment of desperation and solace and silence, right? I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out to you guys real quick. How far would you go for your siblings? Honest question. how far would you go for your siblings? Would you be willing to march? Oh, cost me, if not for a sibling, then for your dogs, for your pets, for your loved one. You know, how far would you go for them? Are you willing to risk your life in a way that our main character is so far? Wow, what an impressive opening shot.
Tanjiro?
Hey, yo.
真っ黒じゃないの。こっちにおいで。雪が降って危ないから行かなくてもいいんだよ。
正月になったらみんなに腹いっぱい食べさせてやりたいし、少しでも炭を売ってくるよ。
ありがとう。兄ちゃん。
And this is where degenerate Ed comes out. Is it bad of me to say that Mama be looking kind of fine though? I mean,
ダメよ。炭治郎みたいに早く歩けないでしょ。母ちゃん。ダメ。今日は荷車を引いていけないから乗せてもらって休んだりできないのよ。兄ちゃん。
aww.
ついていきたい。ちゃんとお手伝いするよ。
ありがとな、花子。でも今日はお留守番だ。
Aww.
しげるもその代わりうまいもんいっぱい買ってくるから。
本当？
ああ。花子も帰ったら本読んでやるからな。うん。いい子だ。
ありがとね、炭治郎。
うん。
A wholesome family in anime. I think I've been corrupted a little bit by a lot of the tropes in anime. Why do I have a sinking feeling this is not gonna last that long? Like, I hate to put it this way, right? But I think this is just a standard trope in a lot of anime where it's like, you know, parents aren't necessarily involved, family isn't necessarily there. But something I'm genuinely wondering about, like, you know, living out in the middle of wherever they're living, and this comes just from, you know, a martial arts perspective as well. How do they handle the cold? How do they handle that environment? And by this I mean, like, for example, right? Because I am out in the middle of the desert, whenever I fight individuals that come from another area, right? Say that they come from the East Coast, West Coast, they come from Canada or Nepal or like any other place, something that you can notice if you're ever in a martial arts setting is how we breathe, right? So one thing that I'm curious about is them being in this environment. Have they focused, and I'm sure that they go through seasons and whatnot, the way that they like check up on themselves, their health, all of that. I know that they look very well dressed up, but is that appropriate enough for them? Are they able to breathe correctly? Are they like comfortable enough in their socioeconomic status of where they are today? And I think that's what makes it huge. Typical voting numbers. Yeah, a lot of people lurk a little bit. So I'm looking at this family and I'm like, dude, it's very wholesome. It's sort of like a good family in an anime that's rarely seen out there. We have been breathing wrong this time. Well, I mean, how do you breathe? Straight up. Are you breathing through your mouth? Are you breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth? In through your nose, out through your nose? Are you maintaining your breath in your diaphragm, or are you maintaining it in your lungs? There's different forms of breathing, especially even when you're in your fight or flight situation. So that's a big question, AZ. How are you guys breathing in an environment like this, right? But this is why I'm like, this family is a little too wholesome, just from what we've seen, in a great way, and something that I haven't seen before. And something in my guts being like, it's not gonna.
じゃあ行ってくる。竹雄。
What one, guys?
少し木を切っといてくれ。
そりゃやるけどさ。一緒にやると思ったのにさ。
よしよし。
なんだよ急に。
竹にテレグラ。
うるせえ。
Aww.
兄ち
Hey, yo.
禰豆子、
ゃん、ロクタを寝かしつけてたんだ。大騒ぎするから。お父さんが死んじゃって寂しいのよね。みんなお兄ちゃんにくっついて回るようになった。いってらっしゃい。
生活は楽じゃないけど
Right.
幸せだな。でも人生には空模様があるからな。移ろって動いていく。ずっと晴れ続けることはないし、ずっと雪が降り続けることもない。そして幸せが壊れる時にはいつも血の匂いがする。
Oh, shit. Okay. Okay.
まあ、炭治郎ちゃん、こんな日に山を降りてきたのかい？よく働くね。
So pause. Let me hear this correctly. It said that his father passed away, right? Or without father around, he took up a lot of the roles and responsibilities. For back in the day, especially if that is the case, if I read that correctly, back in the day, that's sort of one of the biggest aspects of like society and culture, right? Was based on the way that you were born, or based on, you know, what you did. You were sort of already given in a role or responsibility. If this were to happen, you take up this mantle, you do this thing to go out and try and survive. I'm a little afraid, because for me it's like, first off, what does it mean for someone to take up a role this early? Yeah, I think implied, exactly. What does it mean for someone to take up a role this early in their life and set like the responsibility of like, you know, I am the man of the house per se, but like, what? Oh, the weight of that responsibility. Talk about let's reference the first scene. Him walking through the snow of barren trees of white, otherwise known as purity, filled with blood, dripping from, you know, what looked like blood on his feet, right? Staining the purity that was the snow and the barren and like endness of that, right? With dead trees all around and he's walking through, right? And there's the weight of his sister on his shoulders, and there's the weight of his feet on the snow, and there's the weight of the weather and the environment hitting him. And now here comes in the other weight. Now that we're getting this other thing. Is love equals death? Yeah. But now we're getting this other weight. This weight of responsibility. This weight of expectations. This weight of a role that you have to try and fill. How many of you have been compared to your brothers or siblings or father or anyone in your family? I'll be honest, I've been compared to my siblings. I've been compared to the shadow of one of my brothers, one of my siblings, right? And sometimes the roles and the weight of that expectation to try and get out of that shadow can be a lot. Or to try and fill in the boots of someone that has passed away or something can be a lot. What a way. This anime is like blowing my mind. Nothing major has happened so far, but it's blowing my mind with the introduction of the simple concept of weight without throwing it in your face. That is a beautiful way to tell a story with just starting it off. Like, I'm flabbergasted.
風邪ひくよ。
これくらい平気だ。炭はどうだ？足りてるかい？
おい、炭治郎。炭を売ってくれ。この間、障子を張り替えてくれた。
Oh.
こっちも炭ちょうだい。
炭治郎。ちょうどよかった。皿を割った犯人にされてんだよ、俺。助けてくれよ。嗅いでくれ。
Give it a sniff. Hey, yo.
猫の匂いがする。
ほら。
あら、猫なの？
俺じゃないって言っただろ。炭治郎、ちょっと荷物運ぶの手伝ってくれねえか？
The concept is coming back again. The weight of him into society. Everyone trusting, you know, you can tell that he plays a vital role in this community. think about it. In the past 5 minutes of this single show, we've been hit by different roles and expectations that are being placed on him. You know, hey, how you doing? Thanks for sliding the door. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for doing that. Gives us a sniff, so on and so forth. That's a lot, dude. That's a lot for what looks to be like a kid, a teenager, if that. Give us a sniff. My thing with this though is, and something that I'm genuinely wondering. Also, can one of the mods give update the title to make sure it reflects what we're watching, please? Thank you. One of the big things I'm genuinely curious about is when it comes to just this world environment that we're building out here. Is he the type of individual? Because he looks like he wears his heart on his sleeve, but it feels as though he might go from, because he's helping everyone out, that he might go through like peaks of compassion fatigue, or it might, like, you know, since everyone, like, he's helping everyone out, does he have time to help himself out? And that's a really big thing that I'm just thinking about, as like everyone else sort of knows him and asks for him and everything. So that's my big thing. Mods, can we go ahead and update the title real quick? Thank you.
あら猫なの？
俺じゃないって言っただろ。
炭治郎、ちょっと荷物運ぶの手伝ってくれねえか?
He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Oh, aw, my heart, dude.
遅くなっちまったな。でも全部売れてよかった。
こら炭治郎、おめえ山に帰るつもりか? 危ねえからやめろ。
俺は鼻が利くから平気だよ。
うちに止めてやる。
So really quick, chat just asked a wonderful question. Is compassion fatigue a thing? It is. Imagine compassion fatigue as the little hearts from The Legend of Zelda on top of your head, right? And every single time, this is, some people call it like a battery that we have, an internal battery. Every time that you interact with someone or that you help with someone, a little piece of that heart goes down and you give it to that person. Soon enough, you might be at your last heart and it might be blinking like, hey, I can't give out anymore. And yet you still have people being like, hey, Finfran, hey, Luster, help me out with this, do this. And you're like, I need some time for me. And you might be stressed out, but you give that last heart in half to the other person. And you're left with one little piece of heart there. Compassion fatigue is often what a lot of people go through when they go into a work environment and they're being essentially burned out, or they become too empathetic with everyone else around them, you know, with their clients and with other people, that it can just like completely drain them emotionally and empathetically. Yep.
来い、戻れ。
でも
いいから来い。鬼が出るぞ。
Hey, yo, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
ごちそうさま。なあ、三郎おじいさん。鬼ってどんなだ？
昔から人食い鬼は日が暮れるとうろつき出す。
After dark.
だから夜歩き回るもんじゃねえ。食ったら寝ろ。明日早起きして帰りゃいい。
鬼は家の中には入ってこないのか？
That's a red flag.
入ってくる。
じゃあみんな鬼に食われちまう。
だから鬼狩り様が鬼を切ってくれるんだ。昔から。明かり消すぞ。もう寝ろ。
三郎おじいさん、家族を亡くして一人暮らしだから寂しいんだろうな。
That's a pretty big bump on his head, or that's a pretty big scar on his head in general. I wonder if there's some sort of like blunt force trauma, a burn or something. Because that's pretty big, and I hope this. Sure, the story's gonna go into it, but I'm also like.
今度弟たちを連れてくるから。怖がらなくても鬼なんかいないよ。大丈夫。 でもそういえばうちのおばあちゃんも死ぬ前に同じことを言ってたな。大丈夫。
So if there are demons in this world, is there like a social hierarchy class in this? For example, hold on, I'm bringing this up. In every sense of the word, right? Whenever we interact with one another, I always bring this up because this is a great example as to what I mean, right? In groups, right? One of the big things I think any good psychologist will tell you is we derive a lot of our meaning and experiences off of the connections that we make, right? And we tend to not go ahead and do big changes or big actions for no reason. Unless, of course, you're talking about like these demons being like mindless zombies that end up just doing whatever they want. But if they're intelligent social beings, then we have something where like they do certain actions in order to either fit in, that impacts their neighborhood, their school, their environment, their home, or whatever their religious organization might be. That's one of the big aspects that I'm questioning right now is, are we dealing with demons who are just like I hate to use this word, pepega demons, or are we dealing with more of a social cultural intelligence where they're built on a societal standard of, say, a hierarchy, if that. And if that is true, then here's the big thing in all of this, right? I know there's gonna be pepega demons versus hierarchical demons. If it is true, one of my big things is, how does time change the structure that is at play? Does it go from a structure of like, say that like humans are in here, right? That humans influence out, but yet they try and like keep influencing in through the exosystem, mesosystem, and whatnot. What does this mean in an environment like this? Does it mean that throughout time, the hierarchy of this organization has changed so that legends may develop, right, to pose a bigger threat? Or is there threat an actual sufficient amount that, you know, these legends are spread not just as legends, but as a way of warning for others? And if so, because he did say that there were like, what was it, like demon slayers, I believe, right? Does the same thing happen with them? Demon hunters. Yep. So what does that mean? If there are demon hunters, is there a whole organization built like this for them as well? A whole hierarchical organization where they're trying to go ahead and keep things in check and balances and be able to come in and help others out? And if so, what does that hierarchy look like? Because my big thing is, if you let's put a main character in here, right? And let's say that something really, really traumatic happens. Boom. He goes back home. He loses his two brothers, or his brother and his sister, and his mom's just like traumatized, just like, you know, like completely in a comatose state, right? And he's trying to help his sister, as we saw in the cold opening there, walking through that snow. Now he has all this trauma. For some reason they pass away or something like that. What would that enable for a person, psychologically speaking? You have a developing child here, right? We can go and say he's male, around teens, health-wise he's doing great, abilities, we don't know that, but temperament, so far from what we've seen, is he's always the person that's helping others out. What does that develop? But a goal, right, to try and go ahead and like find out what may be happening, which is already a big effect on the micro and mesosystem from this. So we're more than likely going to get an experiential goal where our man is going to start going ahead and finding out a goal if something traumatic were to come off of an incident like this, right? Where all of a sudden we're being prepped by stories of this so that, like, hey, he can go ahead, like, if there's an impact in that home, that's a direct impact on him, which might mean that stuff starts coming in and out. A therapist, a good psychologist I'm hearing this story, and as I'm hearing this story, I'm wondering, are we about to set a goal based on future orientations of what may come, right? Say a traumatic event or something like that, or is it based on something that he is genuinely interested in? Sorry, that sounds pretty weird. I know. Anyway.
今度弟たちを連れてくるから。怖がる。
Mm. Wrong one. There we go.
鬼なんかいないよ。大丈夫。
What do you mean by future orientation? Like situations in the future? Yeah. So future orientations always mean situations that are thrown out there in the future, right? And that's why I'm like, I love the character so far because he's just pretty chill. He's taking it day by day. This is his community. There are no demons to be afraid of. That's a red flag.
うちのおばあちゃんも死ぬ前に同じことを言ってたな。
What up, Neko? How you doing? No, he didn't have to score then. Damn, that's looking pretty steep, dude.
いつも 血の匂い
Oh no. Bruh.
Nezuko! どうしたんだ何があった
Bruh.
父ちゃん 花子 竹雄 茂 Nezuko ロクタ Nezuko だけはまだぬくもりがある 医者に見せれば助かるかもしれない
That's exactly what I was about to show, Masters. Let's bring this up. What the fuck? What happened? My dude had everything. Okay. Our main character right now had pretty much everything set up. Self-actualization. He had esteems, you know, he was very esteemed in his community. He had for like intimate relationships with his family members. It was all good. Security, safety, food, water, warm dress. What just happened? Literally, if we're going to talk about a psyche breaker, quite literally being put in the fastest flight or fight, freeze or fawn state, this is it. The pyramid literally got cut down all the way down. All the way down. Where would he be? Where would he be? He would be down here, dude. Psychological needs, physiological needs. There is no security or safety at home. I'm sorry, everyone's dead. Your intimate friends, you know, your family, dead. Prestige and feelings of accomplishment. Oh yeah, that would be nice if you could actually feel that, but you can't necessarily feel that when this is broken. You're down here. Does he have water, warmth, or rest to go ahead and like pull up from that? That is going into crisis mode. That is going into an emergency mode, which sadly, I'm gonna be straight up with you guys, is one of the easiest forms to get manipulated into like doing something, into going for something, into your cognitive distortions becoming a portion of your goals. And that's one thing that I'm afraid of, right? Which is, i.e., a lot of people who go into crisis mode and they get pulled in by very manipulative individuals or people that know how to talk or people that can promise you the world or whatnot. You'll more than likely agree to it if it's able to go ahead and secure either your goal or something of your Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's wild, dude. That is wild. The promise of something, anything, and I think that's a big thing. Is like right now I'm looking at this big thing just crumbling. His Maslow's hierarchy of needs just crumbling, and I'm like, bro, that's you want to talk about trauma? You want to talk about something that like a lot of people like is probably gonna like when he's older, he's probably gonna take a lot of time to go ahead and like process. Oh. Yeah, it's wow. Wow. How is he breathing? Hold on. He's in crisis mode, right? But the way he went down and up is very different than how he's going down now. This is wild, dude. My brain is trembling at this anime. Because that's very, like, heavy, you know? That's a very... Everything of this is heavy. It's like, you know, like panting almost. And I get it, dude. I get it in a scenario like this, but... Man, dude, I'd be in a rush, too. I can't even blame him for anything. That's my heart, dude. Hey, yo, wait a minute. Hey, yo.
Nezuko. Nezuko,
that ain't your sister. That ain't your sister no more, son. That ain't your sister no more. Oh, also, hi, Caius. Guys, drop some love for Caius and Ophelia. Ah, I love them. Guys, drop some Doritos. Give them some love. Incredible individuals, guys. You guys have to follow Ophelia and Caius, dude. We fucking love them, dude. They mean the world. They're the goats of goats. I can't even fucking state this. Fill it up with Doritos. Let's get a combo going for them, guys. Incredible VTubers, incredible content creators. Y'all have to go check them out. Can't even state that enough. I was gonna say, imagine this, guys. Imagine coming back home. We're not even going to take it this far. We're not going to go into the whole ideology of, like, you know, transformation or demons or anything like that. Let's just take it back home like this. One day you come home, and when you come home, your family members are, I think goats are very cute. Your family members are all acting a little weird towards you. They're very distant. How do you feel about that? I'm not even talking about like a whole transformational like personality change or differences in that. I'm just talking about being isolated and being given a different front. How do you feel about that? I'll be honest, I can tell in almost an instant whenever I get a cold front, and I'm like, it sucks. It sucks. Now imagine a whole different change like this, because this is an impactful change. And this is quite literally, if we're going to talk about power dynamics, the power dynamic, first off, just being thrown out the window. Because power dynamics in a situation like this, power dynamics are always built like in terms of communication, how we communicate, why we communicate, what we communicate, so on and so forth. But if the person is changes in any way, shape, or form, do you reestablish those power dynamics with them? Or how do you go about it? Anyway, sorry guys. That ain't your sister, brother. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, speaking of power dynamics, I can say that we can tell that she's at least a little bit stronger than him physically. Holy shit! I did not think it was gonna go like this. Oh. The Dami sister. Hey, yo. Wait, hold on.
力も強くなっていく。俺がよその家でぬくぬくと寝ていた間、みんなあんなむごいことに。痛かったろ、苦しかったろ。助けてやれなくてごめんな。せめて禰豆子だけは何とかしてやりたい。だけどすごい力だ、押し返せない。禰豆子、頑張れ禰豆子、こらえろ、頑張ってくれ。
Fuck.
鬼になんかなるな、しっかりするんだ。頑張れ頑張れ。
This animation's beautiful, man. Ah. Ah. Yeah. Ooh. My dude's a cold-blooded killer. He's stomping around like his name's Godzilla, got weapons at the wazoo. Ain't nobody illa Trevor Belmont. First Belmont ever. Who the fuck is Simon? Don't get clever. What the fuck is that, dude? My dude just coming in here like... he was coming in here like he was fucking Solid Snake, dude. What the fuck was that? That was amazing. But at the same time, like, no questions asked. He's just like, all right, time to chop. He was about to French Revolution her, dude. Just get out the guillotine, go straight for the head. No questions asked here. Hola, Ed. Hey, Eriscol. Welcome on in. Appreciate you being here. Dude, ¿cómo estás? Ojalá que estés bien. Dude, yeah, appreciate you being here. Swing first, ask questions later. Chop, chop. I was going to ask, if this is the case, because we clearly saw her tearing up, and there's some sort of humanity still left in people that turn into demons like this, wouldn't that be a curse as well? Ooh, okay. Imagine being in your own body, like, psychologically speaking, right? And seeing your body move and do what needs to be done, sort of like DID in a way, but you have no control over it. You can think, you can do stuff, you know, you can think about it, you can see what's happening, but you have no control over it. Demons in this are honestly very vampire-like. They're still the same people. And then well, that's why I'm like, I'm processing this, right? Like, you know, imagine it being a form of self, right? I.e., how do you, like, what roles do you identify as? If you were turned magically into a demon right now, do you still identify as the you that you are today, or would you identify as the demon role? And what does that mean to you? That is one big aspect that, like, is seeing the tears come down her face and, you know, seeing her overpower him and all of these things and her crying. That is an identity moment right there. Speaking of trauma and everything, because now you have this badass guy coming after you, you know, with the sword that almost killed you. Speaking of all the different traumas that just came through and the weight of... Is this a show? Hold on. Because I have a feeling that the importance of connections in this show is going to be a big moment for trying to go ahead and identify what your identity is in terms of self. How do you feel? Where do you go through? Right? How do you identify as human, as not, as a special group, as not, as whatever may come in the show, as not? And also, how do you, would you be willing, how far would you be willing to go to accomplish your goal? And these are all questions that I would be asking our main character here, you know. It turned me pretty quickly. Sorry, guys. My mind is, like, rolling, and I'm trying to put connections just really quickly because, like, internally, these are questions that I'm asking myself as a therapist, right? Like, what does this trauma mean? Because the way I'm thinking about it is the main character is telling me the story, right? The main character is telling me this story about, like, yeah, and I rolled down the hill with my sister holding on to me, you know, because this guy swung at me, you know, and I'm thinking about it like this, and I'm also asking these questions in my head while running everything, and I'm like, wait a minute, where are we going to go on this journey of story? I think you can still acknowledge your humanity while recognizing your ability to hurt people as a demon. I think so as well. I mean, well, you, as the famous countess and vampire that you are, you know, when you turn people, if you turn people, do you still grant them the ability to maintain aspects of their humanity, or are they only under your control, Ophelia, as our countess or vampire countess of the group? His attachment for all his family probably also got him got transferred towards his sister. Yeah, but here's the thing: if everyone you loved, you cared about, right now, died except for one, they all perished except for one, does the weight of responsibility and the weight of that attachment transfer over to them? Do you feel like your attachment would grow because that is your last living family member? I would think so. I would think it'd go to a point of almost a toxic, not toxic, but an unhealthy attachment, right? Where I wouldn't want them to even take a step out. I wouldn't want them to get hurt, you know, that type of environment, until they're able to go in and, like, you know, either prove themselves or be okay or whatever. Oh, she shrunk back in size. Yeah, exactly, Caius, exactly. That's a badass sword, dude. It's like trying to run. You recognize when someone's there and is a little OP. Wait, hold on. Me and Elden Ring, after I noticed that I walked into an area I shouldn't be in. Hold on. Trying to run away. Okay, so this is literally part of my VTuber lore. It's about holding on to one's humanity through finding connection with other. Ophelia, that is beautiful, dude. That is such a beautiful lore to, like, incorporate in. Oh, you're giving so much depth to your lore. That's insane. Also, I love the fact that our main character, through this instinct, through this moment, dude. Funny how he identifies it as a thing and not as a person. But yet for him, that's my sister. That's my sister. And I'd do anything for my sister. Fuck. That's... Yeah. That thing. Oof. Damn. My dude has an ultra instinct step, dude. What the heck is that? That's a big promise. That's a big promise.
ず方法を見つけるから殺さないでくれ。家族を殺したやつを見つけ出すから俺が全部ちゃんとするから。必ず方法を見つけるから殺さないでくれ。家族を殺したやつを見つけ出すから俺が全部ちゃんとするから。だから絶対に治します。
治らない。鬼になったら人間に戻ることはない。
探す。必ず方法を見つけるから殺さないでくれ。家族を殺したやつを見つけ出すから俺が全部ちゃんとするから。
そうになっておいて。
違う。俺のことはちゃんと分かってるはずだ。俺が誰も傷つけさせない。きっと禰豆子を人間に戻す。絶対に治します。
治らない。
This is gonna sound really weird, right? This is gonna sound really, really genuinely weird, right? In therapy, there's a technique called a Gestaltian technique, right? Which is quite literally like an empty chair method of approach. You can do this through psychodrama or many different approaches like this. I'm actually wondering, because his actions, yes, he might be going through compassion fatigues, and the moment that he's, you know, brandishing and doing everything very ceremonial and theatrically in a way, I'm wondering, for example, she can't be cured. The dialogue that he's having with them, he could have easily just killed her in an instant, but he decided not to. In a way, and this might sound really fucking weird, and I know it is he having a conversation with, like, projecting his younger self onto this kid? Either a test for resolve or a test for something, dude. I know this sounds really like it might sound pepega. It might sound really, really weird, right? But this aspect right here for me, it's very much a way that, like, for example, if you, in case you guys ever have the opportunity to go into therapy and your therapist says, hey, we're going to try an empty chair method type of thing, right? And they might be like, tell me something that you would say, like, when you were younger, when you were a kid, when you, whatever, right? Whenever the situation was happening, and how you would react to it now. Or what would you tell to yourself in the past when you were younger, or whatever, right? Often moments of discussion and projection and even of introspection come at the weirdest times. He could have swung and killed her at any moment, and this is exactly what's going on through my mind. Yeah, exactly, Zephyr. But he doesn't. And he's holding on to her, and he's having this conversation. She can't be cured, and our man is just going passionate about it. Our main character is just going passionate, and he's just telling her, I'll do fucking anything, and like he's in a very, very extremely vulnerable state where he can pretty much agree to anything. I wonder if there's aspects that, like, he might see in him that he sees in himself as well. Sorry guys, this is just me wilding at the moment. I apologize guys, that's just me. Yeah, he has been acting too calm, dude. Exactly. Dude, I want to play Vampire the Masquerade. Dude, we should play that someday, Ophelia. I think that would be sick. I feel like Isolated can make yourself monster, and Reaching can make yourself a human again. Aw. I really want to play with someone that knows sort of like the lore of Vampire the Masquerade and how to approach certain things. I think that would be sick. please pin in Anime General. This is sick though. This is honestly amazing. You say turn her into human, I'll cure her. How many times do you think he's heard this? If he goes around slaying people, how many times do you think our man hears this? So why is he having this discussion? And that's my biggest thing, dude. I'm like, whoa. Also, because Tanjiro is in fawning mode, trying to appease to the senses here, trying to say that he'll do anything, trying to plead and whatnot, I feel like he might resort into one of the other ones. He's already froze. He's already gone through fawning. Might be fight or flight that might be coming up next. To show respect to his pain, make him understand maybe instead of just cold. But why? That's my big thing. He could have done it in any situation, any way, shape, or form, and then explained afterwards. Instead, he's deciding to have this conversation with him. He doesn't need to do that, but yet he decides to. This, for me, is showing a character that maybe is trying to go out and understand his reasoning a little bit more, or maybe his place in everything, right? He could have knocked he could have knocked him out as well. Exactly. That's why I'm like, this character is OP, and yet he's deciding not to do that. My brain is trembling. Like, I feel like all my neurons just firing. They don't usually have to, yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh, here it comes. Oh. So it was a moment of projections. Dude, these guys are killing it. These guys are just fucking killing it, dude. We're on episode 1 and I'm already really enthralled with the weight of responsibility, the weight of like their lines and everything that's being thrown in here. Tanjiro's voice actor's killing it. Ooh, here we go. Is he telling this to Tanjiro? Or is he yelling it at himself, his past self, or both? This series is beautiful, man. Oh wow. I'm like, wait a minute. I think this might be a little bit of both here. It's to make him fight, to make him stand up and prove himself, but at the same time, this feels like it's a moment of like, you know, he might have gone through something similar. That's what I'm like. Ooh, look at that frustration. My dude's, yeah, he might look like a baddie but has a giant heart type of thing, you know, but at the same time it's like this frustration and everything that he's showing is wow. Wow. Yeah, it really does, Eric. Stand up and fight. Yeah. Oh. 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 This show, dude. Okay, once again, it's hitting on the weight of responsibility even for our guy, dude. It's like there is empathy in there, but there's also the big weight of responsibility that came with this job. He's even saying, hey, if I would have gotten here a day earlier, or like, you know, half a day earlier, I would have been able to help. Well, that's self-reflection, dude. That's also the way that you get people into unhealthy thinking patterns, my friend. This... Okay, so clearly my man, hold on. This is me thinking for a second. If I'm fighting this individual, if I'm the shoes and I'm fighting this individual, right? Where I already know that this man's like OP as shit. No matter what I do, he's probably gonna win. I have an axe, and I probably have what, like sticks and stones and whatever the fuck I can find on the ground. Honestly, I would probably run around a bit, just throwing random shit, just like stick, stone, right? Pocket sand, yeah, pocket sand, snow, whatever you can. You know, just keep a steady pattern and then change it up, right? Because, for example, if I'm just throwing a 1, 2, 1, just wildly trying to survive, what you can also do is prep them, right? And it's like a dance move. A lot of people don't know this about fighting, but when you're fighting someone, you're essentially having a dance with the partner. His life doesn't matter more than his sister's. There's no hesitation. Absolutely. And that's a big aspect of that, right? So, for example, I know he's might not be a trained fighter or anything like that, but in fighting, you're dancing with the person, right? So, for example, I teach MMA, I teach mixed martial arts, and one of the big aspects that I talk to him about is it's a conversation between two people. We're dancing in a way where, you know, you're breathing. Huge, right? Your steps that you're taking, are you using wasted steps? Are you adjusting yourself to the rhythm of the fight? And if I change rhythms, can you adjust to that? So if I were to do that, right, and throw sand and three little sticks and the axe in between right in back of them, what will you block if you've gotten adjusted to a 1-1 battle? My brain is thinking like strategically. I'm like, if I had to save my brother, or if I had to save Caius, right, and Caius is in this demon's hands, what would I do? It's always better to yeah. Play of the game type moment. Ultra instinct flash to. Bruh. Not bad. Not bad. That was pretty good. Hey, that was pretty good. Trickery for the win.
と同時に上へ斧を投げた。丸腰であるのを悟られないよう振りかぶった体勢で手元を隠す。俺に勝てないのが分かっていたからだ。自分が切られた後で俺を倒そうとした。こいつは。
Oh, that was a good sidekick.
Nezuko は違うんだ。人を食ったりしない。
Oh shit, dude. Oh shit.
ことを言って鬼に食われた奴がいた。飢餓状態になっている鬼は親でも兄弟でも殺して食べる。栄養価が高いからだ。今までそういう場面を山ほど見てきた。この娘は怪我を負わされており、それを治すために力を消費している。鬼に変わる時もかなり体力を消費するはずだから、間違いなく今は重度の飢餓状態。 一刻も早く人の血肉を食らいたかっただろうに。守れ。
He's so logical. Yeah.
俺に対する威嚇。こいつらは何か違うのかもしれない。
Good night. But again, I guess it's sort of like what separates you from an animal, right? And also, if they need blood or something to survive, can't we do like a blood drive or something? You know, that was a nice judo chop, Phalanx. Just blackout. It's great that Tanjiro latches onto the smallest hope. But here's the thing. People might say, oh, that's unrealistic. But no, given this scenario, I'm going to be straight up with you. When people, for example, we can look into any anime out there, right? Any isekai, right? Let's take ReZero, Subaru from ReZero. He latches onto Emilia as his beacon of hope, which is why he's willing to do so many things for her, and she puts her on this pedestal because that is his beacon of hope. In a realistic scenario where your family gets completely destroyed and this is your last living family member, what'll you do? You'll latch onto them and that becomes your beacon of hope. There was a saying, and I think even psychologically, like a lot of people still say this, which is, you know, if you're constantly, or if you're on the search for revenge, or you're seeking for revenge, you got to dig a grave for two. One for yourself and one for your enemy. Because here's the thing. Psychologically, that's draining. Psychologically, that can completely damage you. Yeah. If all you think about is how can I get back at my enemies? You know, how can I do certain things? Physically, if you go after them, that same thing, you run the risk. But in a scenario like this, it's like, there's clearly more intellectually happening here in terms of what it means to build your connections, right? And what it means, what level of impact do you give to them? For example, and then the demon slayers also said demons might have a curve for being a demon. So he kind of gave him hope. Yeah, he kind of gave him a little bit of hope and motivation to start his journey into trying to go and find stuff. This is really well written for a first episode. Like, my mind is ooh. I'm like, is this gonna be an attachment anime? Is this whole thing about like gaining and losing friendships and connections and everything, and how it impacts us and changes us along a story of maybe revenge? Because that's oof. Oh, bro. Oof. Oof, don't. Oh, no.
Okita さぎり山のふもとに住んでいる鱗滝左近寺という老人を訪ねろ。富岡義勇に言われてきたと言え。今は日が差していないから大丈夫なようだが、妹を太陽のもとに連れ出すなよ。
She's never oh shit. Oh shit. Handsome magical man disappears like that? Oof. I was about to ask this as well. Wow. And one episode named Cruelty. Wow, this blew my expectations quite a bit. I ain't gonna lie, that blew my expectations quite a bit. This might be a pretty amazing show to get into as well. I do want to go ahead and state one thing that I'm really curious about, and I wonder if this show is going to touch on later on. The way he looks back in here. Wait, I'll show you guys just so that you guys are aware of what I'm talking about. This thing right here, right? The way he's just able to go ahead and get up and go. My thing is, I wonder if there's going to be moments of grief later on in the show, because grief isn't just something we bury our dead and we move on, right? Especially traumatic grief like this. For me, this is like, I wonder if there was another traumatic moment in his past where he just had to move on, because the way he just like took that responsibility to like, let's go, that's a big step, dude. That's a big step. And traumatic memories like this at such a young age can become a moment of repression. So and that's one thing I'm wondering. I'm wondering if there's any form of repression happening. Repression is essentially when sometimes we keep traumatic memories deep inside of us and like we don't know, for example, why when we're hearing a song or we're painting or we're doing something, we start tearing up or we feel uncomfortable or anxious or whatever, because we tend to keep like a lid over those memories or over those things. And seeing the way that he was just able to pick up and go, you know, that's one big concept that I'm wondering about. Are we going to see moments where this concepts of grief are going to pop back up, and we might see him like struggle a little bit with sort of like, you know, the expectations that the family had given him as he passes away, and the concepts of maybe repressed memories that may come from a situation like this, or other situations that may have happened in the past. Holy bananas, ladies and gentlemen. This show is quite literally an amazing work of metaphors that are being thrown in there, and quite literally like everything. Everything. I can't say it enough. I'm genuinely impressed by this first episode and what it's had to go ahead and give. One of the big things that I'm going to go ahead and throw out there is we're not going to watch the ending because there might be spoilers. There's usually spoilers in openings and endings. I'm not sure if there is a spoiler in the opening or ending. I'm going to wait till the mods check before I go ahead and do something like that. But is there or not? Oh, is it the OP? Is there spoilers in it? Can we listen to it or not? But I do want to go ahead and state, guys on YouTube, let me know, did you take anything new away psychologically from this? Or maybe not. Was there something that caught your interest, or you guys were able to go ahead and like, you know, something that you guys were able to go and take away from it? And also, do you guys want me to go ahead and continue this series? What do you guys think about it? Let me know, guys. Let me know, especially here on YouTube. This is probably going to go up almost, you know, sometime this week. So that way we can go ahead and we can talk about it a little bit more. And for those of you on YouTube, if you guys say, yeah, hey, continue this series, it's a phenomenal series, you know, all of that, the more comments you guys leave, and if you guys are genuinely interested in something like this, I might pick it up and I might start doing this. I might even do this sometimes off of stream and just do it by myself. Just let me know. I'm really curious if people are interested in like Demon Slayer, like psychological analysis as you know, going through it. Anyway, with that being said, guys, I hope you guys practice some self-care. Hit that like button, subscribe, and come join us. We tend to do this every Friday and Sunday on Twitch, guys. Join our Discord to stay updated. I appreciate you all. And yeah, I'll go ahead and leave that one there.